All right, let's go ahead and get started. We have I'm back after being out for a couple of weeks. Looks like the meetings happened. Got a really nice update on the RAN work a couple of weeks ago from Wuzhong. That's great news. Let's start, and feel free again to add agenda items. But let's start with a set of infrastructure-related updates. And I started a list here of things I know in progress. And DAF, I think I'll just turn to you for an update on a couple of these things. So we've got JIRA, which we were establishing a new JIRA a few weeks ago. We went over the plan for how we were going to set JIRA up. Could you just bring us up to date on where that is?
Yeah, we have the plan defined as of the PSC 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I got distracted and did not make progress on getting that. I'll be working on that this week and we'll give a demo next week.
All right. Progress stalled. Hope to have a demo next week. Fair enough. Jenkins, just FYI, this is, I would characterize this as primarily about consolidation and optimizing how many resources. We're basically trying to reduce resource usage. And DAF has been leading the charge here, and I know Canal is involved as well. So again, DAF.
Yeah, the basic issue is to migrate from our static machines that are always up in Mumbai to dynamic machines in the Oregon region. Looking here mainly to reduce costs and kind of consolidate resources. Some additionals are some cleanups across the board of machines that we haven't really cleaned up and eliminated that are still sticking around. I've disabled most of the Aether jobs that had been running, particularly for SD-RAN and SD core. There's a few ROC jobs that are still running. So right now it's mostly a couple ROC and Aether on-ramp jobs that are only things running in Aether. Please let me know if you identify any jobs that should be running that aren't. Beyond that, it's mostly walking through the Aether on-ramp jobs and shipping to Dynamics. Right now, the expectation is that will complete basically about 2 weeks into August with all of them shifted over, along with some other things that are happening to distract that. As a side note, that should reduce costs somewhere around $500 to $6,500, $5K to $6,500 per month on Aether jobs. Michelle, have you seen the latest update on that? I can't hear you if you're talking. Anyway, that's something that the project team wants to see, and we need to shift it down. So that's what I'm working on right now.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're burning through money in AWS right now, and everyone's been contributing here to reduce that. We just have a last round of disable and cleanup to get done. Not to trivialize it, because there's still plenty to do, but it feels like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel now.
That's the hope.
So thank you, and so Canal, I know you have some tasks later on that is focusing on the JJB transition. That again follows reducing the footprint that we have for Jenkins, even in the static job definition. DAF, is there help that you could use from Kunal in
Yeah,
making this more rapid or not?
well, the goal will be to see if we can work together on reducing the number of machines that we have, so work on the dynamic stuff that I've got, if he and I can work together. Kunal, can we set up some time for your morning tomorrow to discuss?
Yeah, yep, definitely. I can um, jump on a call and we can definitely do these things. Yeah, cleaner
So,
stuff.
go ahead and schedule me if you can, done with this, when you'll be available tomorrow, for
Mhm.
say an hour to discuss things. Make it
Yeah,
any
yeah.
time available up to your midnight, up to my midnight.
Mhm.
Great,
That's
thank
fine.
you.
I don't want to pin you at the end of your day.
No problem.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, staff. Anything else, infrastructure that you can think of?
Not right now. I will be doing a little bit of work with another release engineer at LF on some of the jobs as well, to try and help with that and get him up to speed so he can help back me up on some infrastructure things here, but that won't be really finalized until next week, so I'll update you on that.
Okay, thanks. So the next item, I just wanted to, it's partly status check, but I think everyone is up to this is old news. SD core is now the C. This is all related to CI jobs now, not integration testing. So core and RAN are done. My understanding is that the actions to do the publishing of artifacts for ROC is still to do. Happy to be corrected on that, but and I don't know if we have the right people on the call or not. How do we see that one to completion so that we've completely removed that dependency on Jenkins for CI? Sean, are you in the loop on this, or?
I'm a bit out of the loop, honestly. I haven't talked to Gabrielle in a long time. Maybe Suresh, do you know the status on this?
No, no, Sean. Gabriel was looking that. I haven't get a chance to speak with him on this.
Okay, I'll reach out to Gabrielle and see where we are on it. I've kind of been living under a rock for the past few weeks, trying to get something else complete, but that's almost completing now.
Living under a rock. How
Yes.
ironic.
Oh yeah, how ironic. Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Any attention you can give this is helpful. I think it's a matter of just replicating what Gabriel and others have set up for the core and the RAN. So I'm hopeful that, you might have some insights here, but it should be straightforward. Just as a general statement, I would, I'm not sure how to approach this, but Sean, it would be good if I would like to learn how to, and I don't know what, I mean, the documentation is there, but I have not exercised these steps. I would like to understand, and be able to demonstrate that I can change the models and hence change the API. As soon as I can find some time, I'm going to start working on that, but I would likely need some help, I suspect.
Yeah, sure, Larry. Yeah, happy to help. I know this is something that Suresh went through last year. I wonder if you have any notes on it, Suresh.
For the adding parameters and other changing to the Aether models you were talking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my local notes on building and other stuff. Probably I can put it on some page. I think if we have already any procedures, anything specific places, maybe I can add that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have just even rough notes, I can curate them a bit and
Sure.
maybe.
Yeah, I will send you the details. So basically, I have my local notes for all these 5 repositories, right? All these, and I will send you the notes. Yeah.
Right, so I'm recording that Suresh has gone through the process, has notes he'll send to Sean, who will, I don't know, curate or whatever the right word
Yeah,
is.
yeah, edit them, just to kind of make sure they're general enough to apply in any circumstance.
Great, great, great. Thanks to both of you.
And like, is your target to add them to a wiki or something like this?
Yeah,
Larry?
yeah. So it would be great. I mean, we have an SD core and an SD-RAN wiki page. It would be great to have one for Rock.
Right, okay, yeah.
I mean, it is, yeah, that would be, and if, Sean, if you want to actually take what you get and then, massage it and stick it into a wiki page as a place to put it, that would be fine.
Yeah, okay. I'll do something on that this week. Can you point me to that wiki, Larry?
Would you like me to do?
Just give me a pointer to the wiki.
Yeah, it's wiki.etherproject.org.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
And if you want, I'll go ahead and set up a Rock page in it.
Yeah.
It should be pretty obvious if you get there before me, but I'll go ahead and set up a Rock page.
Sure, okay. And the objective is to be able to edit the model and update the API.
Yeah, just that we have, and I don't need to be the only one. If anyone else is interested in doing that or having that capability, that'd be great.
Okay.
Final infrastructure item is mailing lists, and if her microphone is working, Michelle had a question or a topic.
Yeah, I think I got it working. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Cool. So the current TST at etherproject.org mailing list is a public list that I think was intended to be used for like discussing upcoming agendas and meetings. It's not really being used that way. It seems like most of that conversation is or is taking place on the Slack or the dev mailing list. And tech or like LF best practices like to keep the TST at mailing list as a private mailing list that just has the actual current TST. It's not too big of a deal for this group because it's not a huge TST, but it's easier for like the PM or marketing or whoever to reach out without having to track down the individual emails for everyone. And it's a little easier for the TST to have more sensitive discussions if needed. They have a private group to kind of have those conversations on. So I propose changing the current TST mailing list over to a private list with just the current TST members on it to discuss, TST related things. And then we can either create discuss at etherproject.org mailing list.
I don't know that we need another
deal
mailing
with,
list.
TST meeting or community meeting topics or.
Normally,
Okay.
I would say we haven't had a problem with having it public, but then that's because we don't actually use it. I kind of view, we have a tendency to use the wiki, the Slack, as you pointed out, which is fine. I kind of view the TST Slack as a community focused Slack as opposed to an engineering dev focus. It's where we talk about meetings and whatnot. So given that we don't really use the TST mailing list, I don't have a problem with making it private, but I don't feel terribly strongly about it either. Either TST or non-TST members have opinions about that? Just taking notes here. I don't hear any objections. Given that we aren't making use of it, if it's helpful to LF to have that as a private one, that's fine with me. And I'm not hearing any objections to that. If we discover that we need a open community list, we can always add that later, but I think we're
Right.
fine with Slack.
Okay, sounds good.
We do so much official business in this group. All right. Any other infrastructure topics? All right, let's move to SD core updates, and I thought I saw AJ on. Yep. Anything to report here, AJ?
I was away for last 3-4 days, but what I managed to do is that getting a couple of PRs merged from which were raised by Canonical team. They were bit heavy, big PRs. I believe PCF and Web Console, these two PRs are merged, and there are some follow-up PRs lined up. So yeah, and one or if I'm not wrong, not just one, 2-3 PRs have come around the certificate. One of the PR I had reviewed on SMF, that's also merged. So my major activity has been reviewing the PR and merging it. Because there's a good number of backlogs now and don't want to see that rising. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's all.
So I think I'll save it for on-ramp, but there is the stuff that Balazs doing. But let's come back to that in a minute, which is also then has some core implications. SD-RAN updates. I'm sorry, any other SD core updates? Anyone else? Okay, SD-RAN updates. Wu Zhang couldn't be here today. I'm not sure who's been typing this in, but thank you. Upgrading gRPC version for the Dependabot PRs and requires an update to ONOS API. So I'm not sure who reported that. If you have any more to add. So I haven't met him yet, but indirectly introduce Mohammed Arif from University of Glasgow. I met his professor last week at a European event, and they are eager to start contributing to SD-RAN. And so I've connected them to Wu Zhang, and we will start working out, adding to and taking items off of the SD-RAN roadmap. So that's great to have more people involved there. So Mohammed, have you successfully got to the roadmap? And by the way, go ahead and introduce yourself since put you on the spot here.
Thank you, Larry. Myself, Muhammad Arif, and I'm a PhD student at University of Glasgow, and currently dealing with the Open RAN. And right now, what we are trying to deal with the SD-RAN and specifically the X apps and their integration and their communication with the RIC, and then to deal with certain kind of scenarios related to the bandwidth update and latency. So I'm trying to learn these things. Last week, my professor and I both met with Larry at the Lipri School of Advanced Networking. So thank you for providing me this opportunity. That this will be a kind of a great thing for me to learn from the people, from all the experienced people like you. And I haven't had any communication with the Wu Jung till now. Hopefully, I'll have a communication with him. I will have a meeting with him, and then definitely I will be contributing something into this project. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks. Yeah, thanks for telling us about what you're up to. This is a great opportunity, and we're anxious to have more people contributing to SD-RAN. I'll just add. So it is, there are, and now I'm not sure if they got linked on the wiki page, but there is some training material that Wu Zhang put together for students at a South Korean university that should be available, that might be helpful. So I'll alert you to that, and I'll go see if I can find a link to it, but I forget exactly if it got put online or not. All right, Bala, I'll put an item here, which is where partly based upon what I saw in Lapari. We're looking into adding OAI and OAI blueprint. Geez, can't type. And we will also be looking at to add our blueprints to the slices 5G effort. So slices is a European-wide research infrastructure program. For those of you that might just be Andy unless Scott is on, who've been through the battles of Genie, this is European Genie, except they're successful with it. And they're not actually building out a ton of infrastructure, but they're providing blueprints for people to do experiments, and they're providing the archive machinery so that results will be saved and research will be reproducible, and you can use other people's result, use the data other people generate as well. So it's a nice broad project, but I think the SD or the Aether components fit into that model very nicely, and we now have the engineering level connections to see some of that through.
Hilary, which university is driving Slice?
Sorbonne, Serge.
Sorbonne, okay. Oh, Serge,
yeah,
okay.
Serge is the leader of it, but there were people, his team includes people at the Greek university and several other universities, but it is European wide.
Okay, yep.
And the demonstration of the OAI blueprint helped me understand better. We've gotten the OAI radio running with Aether on multiple occasions for we being the broad community, but we've never gotten it crystallized in a way that can be folded back into on-ramp so other people can just pick it up and go. Everybody's having to reinvent the wheel here. I don't think it's that hard of wheel, but we would like to get a blueprint so that it's dead easy to download Aether and connect the OAI radio to the SD core. If you go to OAI, you're going to connect the radio to the OAI core. I think we'd like to have it connected to our core.
So Gabriel will be back this week, and we have been working on this here at Intel, because another group inside Intel also is using the OAI radio, and we provide the core, right? So there has been some work, we have been doing some work to deploy it fairly easily, and that would fit, nicely here, right?
Yeah, and Bilal and I have talked about it, and Bilal's on the call, so should speak up as well. But from what I saw, they actually have an Ansible playbook for bringing up the Docker container that runs the radio software. And so that ought to be packageable as in Aether on-ramp in a fairly straightforward way. I don't have the radio hardware. I know you guys do, Christian.
Yep.
So maybe next week when Bala is visiting, you can just give it a try, and he can learn from whatever you've done.
Yes.
So Bala, since you're there, anything else to say about the scaling blueprint?
Yep. So we are planning to publish Helm charts or incorporate our scaling changes into the Helm charts that we have right now. I am just going to hand over the changes to Ajay so that he can make it part of it, part of the standard Helm chart that we have right now for SD Core. So, but for that, we are going to publish a different images. That is different, the images for AMF SD Core right now, because it includes a lot of code changes. The code changes for AMF and SMF and other pods are in progress for being polished, clean code, and more robust changes so that it is in a pretty standard format. But we are going to make it a part of Helm charts in this week, so that at least it's there for people to try and see if they see any issues or not. But yes.
Thanks.
But
So the way I
yeah.
recorded this is that in the short, you're gonna publish the Helm charts. In the short term, it will use your research images, call them research images, and over time you'll integrate the code changes back into the source code, but that will take some time.
Yes, correct.
Good. And AJ, that all matches up with your expectations?
Yeah, kind of like I think I had call with Bilal probably last week. I don't know, is it after this meeting or before this meeting? But yeah, I mean, I want Bilal you to propose these things in one of the document or something so that I can comment it. I'm a bit worried about like we cannot push the images tags in the mainline Helm chart repository. We'll have to work out on the plan of probably having a separate branch, because no point in giving these default images in the mainline for sure, right? So because we are not giving the code, so just putting the image won't help. So yeah, I mean, with the limited understanding whatever I have based on our conversation, I would propose to have the Helm chart changes. If Helm chart changes are generic enough, we will go ahead and add that in the mainline. But if it is very specific to your images, then we'll have to put that in the separate branch on the Helm chart.
So
we can call it as a scale branch or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But I mean, even short of the branch, if it's the case, Bala, that your changes could be just a separate values file that we can include in on-ramp, that would also work.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so is it a completely different Helm chart or is it just a different values file? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's not completely different, but it's extension. There are a couple of variables that need to be added, but we can definitely use SD core Helm values file for that for starters. Yes. But okay, so yeah, Ajay, definitely I will give you the document. I'm sorry about that for being delayed, but yes.
All right, yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a brief thing and your proposal, how you plan to get it in, right? And that's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so Bob's writing a planning document. Yeah, and staging this so that it's available using alternative, even if it's an alternative Helm chart, but at least alternative images in the short term, and then plan to go through the vetting process to get the changes integrated into the source code can take longer. All right. Okay, and the final topic, Blah, is there anything else to say about on-ramp? I know you've been battling some people struggling, but mostly.
Yeah, I am like looking at the issues that are being raised, and most of them are, almost all of them are has been responded to. So yeah, there's no open issues right now, I guess, that needs urgent response, I guess. But
Okay.
I'm just waiting for a couple of them to respond. Yeah.
Good, thanks. And so Kunal, you've made some more progress on the JJB.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, there were two strategies that I was following where one of the strategy was automating the job creation with single JJB definition. So there we are configuring single YAML file and using that YAML file, the the code need not to be there because JJB handles that YAML file itself and is able to create a new job. So in this case, the YAML file will contain the pipeline definition as well. So this thing, the last time we talked about uh, regarding reducing the code was if we can do just by installing the Jenkins job builder. So using that, using just installation of Jenkins job builder, we can achieve the single JJB definition uh, s- uh, uh, strategy. So basically, we just need to provide this YAML to Jenkins job builder, and it will automatically create the uh, uh, job using this YAML definition.
So can I try to say that back to you and see if I have it right, which is rather than replicating each JJB being a full definition of a pipeline, you have one definition of a pipeline because all these jobs look roughly the same. And then per job, you're templating out, filling out the details for that particular job.
Mhm.
Is it?
That
Yeah,
can be done using the job template, but
right.
as we were targeting single job, I have just kept this for the single job right now.
Ah, so there's still another round of templating one could do when you add more, but you've
Yes.
done this work for one job. Fine. That's still having that one job, that first job is
Right.
I think still really important. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
this
good.
one would just need an installation of Jenkins job builder only. And just by providing the single YAML file, we'll be able to get the job created. And yeah. So
Yeah,
the
so
second strategy, yeah, please go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah. So the second strategy was to um, do it with separate YAML and keeping the pipeline definition in a separate Groovy file. So for that, we would need a YAML parser. So for due to this only, we have to have that JJB repo into our Ether Jenkins repo, and then we had to use that code to generate the new YAML file, which would need a YAML parser. So that thing is also done. We just need to remove unnecessary things from that Ether Jenkins repo, and the code would be minimalized and will be able to do the job.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the two strategies that I have followed so far, and both are working fine. We can use any one of them, and whatever TST suggests, we can use that one. So as per the existing uh, Ether CI management repo, we have separate YAML and pipeline definition files.
Mm-hmm. Where can we take a look at this?
This one right now is in a local Jenkins, but that can be published. No, that's not a problem.
Yeah, if you could publish it so that we can
Hmm?
take a look at it, that would be helpful.
Sure. I'll do that.
So just as a high order bit here is this pushing this along is wonderful. I think it is second priority to anything that you can do to help DAF bring down the costs that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
try to keep all the instances as on demand to the extent we can do, but mostly we will try to make it on demand.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on QA that you want to talk about? Anyone else, any other topics that we didn't get covered? All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.